Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, everyone. Welcome to Siddhaveda webinar series. So today's topic is a very interesting topic for all of us, especially in this pandemic. After effects of pandemic, a lot of people are worried about, what is happening after they travel, the old people at home, they have problems. So here, topic resilience and weight loss by mindfulness. Mindfulness is the biggest topic that is in this pandemic has been discussed. So here, we have an interesting mainstream practitioner, Dr.Anand Chockalingam, and who has integrated our ancient traditional knowledge and has been successfully published more than 70 papers on, and he also got some funds, so which I wanted to discuss about. And Dr. Chockalingam is a professor professor of medicine at the University of Missouri, Columbia, USA since 2006. His major emphasis is cardiomyopathy, mental stress, and holistic intervention with over 70 original publications. He collaborates with mindfulness, behavioral psychologists, exercise experts, nutritional scientists to improve diet, exercise, and lifestyle for cardiac patients. He has pioneered a unique Heartful Living cardiac wellness program both in the US and India for improving health. So his family is all experts. We know Dr. Chockalingam, who gave a talk a few weeks ago. So he's all different dimensions. I guess he's Dr. Anand Chockalingam seemed to be very dynamic. His dad is dynamic in different way. He's like, super dynamic, I can say. So I welcome, hopeful your family is joining. Welcome, doctor, please.
Thanks so much for inviting me today. You are able to hear my audio?
Yes.
Okay. Shall we go ahead and get started with the presentation,
Sure.
which will be for about 20-25 minutes, and then we can open it up for question and answers.
Sounds good.
Is the slide full screen?
Yes.
Greetings, friends. Thanks so much, Dr. Shan, for inviting us to present some of our exciting work pertaining to heart health. Today's discussion is about resilience and reducing weight using mindfulness. My disclosures. High Life Journey is our website aiming to share this knowledge widely at no cost to everyone. And Seeking Hunger is a small book to help people understand mindful eating. If we look at this study, what it shows is only 5% of the people that the VA system takes care of. This is the biggest healthcare system in the US for the veterans who've been to different wars over the last several decades in the US. And when they come back and when we are dealing with their health issues, only 5% of them take up nearly half the entire VA budget. Who are these 5% whose healthcare is so expensive? The two most expensive diseases you see up here is the heart, circulatory, and mental health disorders. So if we can fix the heart and the mind, then we are in very, very good shape for the future. But this is so much easier said than done. This is because chronic diseases that you see here are prevalent in majority of the population. 2/3 of them have 2 or more chronic diseases. Majority have at least one chronic disease by the age of 65. By the term chronic disease, we mean something that people need doctor's visits and medications for a very long time, most likely indefinitely from the time they are diagnosed with hypertension, cholesterol, arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, kidney disease, heart failure, depression, dementia, and lung disease. So this is what the CDC recognizes, that there is a big link between mental health and the heart. And if we look at how this connection happens, we know that stress and anxiety cause increased sympathetic activation, cortisol secretion, leading to more stress on the heart. And once a person is diagnosed with heart problems, then that changes their lifestyle even further. They become more sedentary, more cautious, and their mental health continues to suffer. So this vicious feedback loop ends up affecting, unfortunately, majority of the patients that we take care of, not only in the US, but throughout the world with chronic diseases of the heart and the mind. But being in the US, this is a graph that is staggering. What we are looking at is the entire country's GDP, what percentage is being spent on healthcare. Most of the developed Western world spends about 10-12% of their GDP, including Germany, France, and other Western countries. Whereas United States, this graph says about 15-16%, but it's already close to 20% in the COVID era. This is a huge amount. Nearly 1/5 of the entire productivity of the country is going towards taking care of health problems. And compared to how much we are spending on healthcare, what is the returns that we are getting? Life expectancy. How many years can someone born in each country expect to live? That is, over the last few years, actually coming down for the United States compared to the rest of the Western world. We are spending more money than any other country, and we are not getting good returns as far as output in the form of good quality of life for the United States. So this is very alarming trend. And this may be one of the most important reasons. Compared to only a few decades ago, when obesity was at about 10%, we are already at about 30-40% of entire adult population being obese. And coming to 2030, within 10 years, half this country is going to be obese, which means BMI will exceed 30 kilogram per meter square. So this anyone can Google to find out how much our BMI is. All that we will need is our height and our weight. And when we look at different countries in the Western world, we see that the US obesity rates are higher than any other developed country. Here again, most countries are in the 20% range, whereas US is already over 30% of population having excess weight issues. Why do I worry about obesity? The reason is it accounts for 80 to 90% chronic diseases take most of the healthcare budget, 90%. Of that, nearly 50% goes to taking care of obesity alone. So this is the biggest challenge. And when we look at how this works, inflammation is central, and mental health disorders are exacerbated by inflammation. And once there is mental health disorders, lifestyle changes, people are more sedentary, and that leads to more obesity. So this is the vicious cycle connecting chronic disease, mental health, and obesity. If we look at some of the newest studies, this is a very interesting study called Rainbow, where people attempted not only to fix their mental health, but also excess weight, and their results were promising. This is positive psychology. This is a new field. Probably only about 20 years ago, they first came up with this term called positive psychology, because for the last several hundred years, psychology means taking care of depression, anxiety, negative issues. Positive psychology means finding things that we are good at and using that towards getting stronger, healthier, and improving our well-being. We use this. In the last 15 years, we've got tremendous results using positive psychology. What happens is we start with self-inquiry, which means asking the simple question, who am I? What is life about? And when that question is asked intuitively, that itself directly makes us more confident, find meaning in life, give us more optimism. And after few weeks, within few months, many of my patients who experience this type of mindfulness practice are able to intuitively transform their lifestyle. They want to exercise some more. This is not being forced by the doctor or the gym coach. They are doing it because it's more fun. So that type of deep subconscious level transformation is what we work with. And once people intuitively start embracing healthier food, better way of living, better exercises, then the heart health automatically improves. Once that cycle gets settled, then there is no limit to how much more resilience and health we can regain, despite being of older age or with several comorbidities. Here, I'm showing how our program works. In the conscious level, our willpower, logic, thinking, all of this accounts for only 10% of who we are. At the subconscious level, 90% of our mind resides. That is where the emotions, values, and habits are, but even more important is the core. At that core is the ability to experience gratitude. So this is not maintaining a gratitude diary every day, writing 2 things you are thankful for. This is experientially living with gratitude. And this has to, it takes a few weeks, maybe a few months for some people, but people are able to connect at that level with this. And creativity is the core thing that we are aiming for. And people might have been retired, they may have physical disabilities, so many challenges, but still we are able to connect with people at this deeper level. So we talked some theory, some challenges. Now we'll come to the practical results of our program. Here I'm showing medical records. So these are not diagrams that I draw. These are medical records over time. And what we see is in May 2021, this person weighed 238 kilograms. So for this person, that meant a BMI. Normal BMI is about 20 to 23 for India, maybe up to 25 for most of the world. So if the BMI is 26, then we call it overweight. If it is 30, 31, we say it is obese. But this person's BMI was 75. That means he's a severely, morbidly obese. So that is the challenge that he came in with. But beyond that, although he was only 43 years of age, he also had trouble breathing at night. So sleep apnea was being treated. He had high blood pressure. His heart was already weak. Squeeze normally is ejection fraction of about 55, 60 is normal. For this gentleman, it was only 25. He is not even my patient. That actually makes me more proud because we delivered our program to him digitally. Another cardiologist and primary doctor took care of him. But the reason I bring his story is within a course of about 5 months, you're able to see he has lost 20% of his weight. So by September 2021, we thought we'd done a good job. And he felt so much better already. But the story does not end there. This is the same patient. Look at his graph, same 238 kilograms. Now he is down to less than 120 kilograms. So he has lost about 52% of his weight. And his doctor is now calling me asking, is it okay for him to continue to lose weight? He is now feeling, honestly, like a 20-year-old. His heart function, which was only 25% last year, has gradually normalized within the last 12 to 14 months. So this is the real magic we are talking about. Another patient, and then we will see what's going on. This patient at 2020, that's the first time I'm seeing this patient, was 73 years of age. She had a heart attack. She had excess weight. This patient's BMI is 35, which qualifies as severe obesity, anything 35 or over. And these are all cardiac parameters. We don't need to worry too much about it. But the problem is she had heart failure already for 15 years. And I told her for the first time that although you've been seen by cardiologists and by several doctors, your heart issues may improve if you focus on losing weight. And we taught her our Heartful Living methods. It takes us about 8 hours to teach this, but she came to our sessions, she liked it, she did everything that we wanted her to do. And within several months, about 6 months, she reported she's feeling like a 25-year-old for the first time in several decades. And that is correlating with her weight dropping about 35%. So this is her graph. All this we have published already. And this is the point when she felt like she was only 25 years old. And this did not take her more than 6 to 8 months from the time I initially saw her. This was at 104 kilos. She is now down to 70 kilos, down by 36%. But the story does not end there because life has several challenges. She comes home one day to find her adult son, who's totally healthy without any physical or mental health issues, having committed suicide. She tried to revive him, called 911, couldn't save his life. And then she comes to my office. And when I ask her how she is feeling about life, she reports, "Doctor, I'm doing my best. For my family, for everybody around me. I've lost my dearest son only a few months ago, but still, I believe that there is more I can do in this lifetime." And she remains very optimistic about her future at this age of 75. So this is what makes it remarkable, that the transformation is not just weight loss, it's not just reducing medicines, not just feeling younger. It's truly feeling that deeper connection with life itself. 5,000 years ago, two things happened. This is what we recollect, because this is a very beautiful world wonder in Egypt, the pyramids. But if you go deeper into this, it is out of fear of humans thinking that at the end of life, we need some security. So they built this and put some boats and other ornaments inside so that the king who is most powerful will build the biggest pyramid. If the entire world took to this, the world would have now become a graveyard. Luckily, this habit died away several thousand years ago. But we can go and enjoy these sites. But around the same 5 to 10,000 years ago, in southern India, we developed some beautiful ways of looking within. It still lives in Japan as Zen. And in India, it is as the medicine called Siddha, but the higher consciousness concepts, there are not too many people teaching it and not easy to embrace. But in mid-Missouri, we have been doing this now close to last 10 years, formally as a group clinic since 2015 for veterans. And so many people in the local community are trying this and showing us how their health can improve. And we are re-understanding chronic disease. We are re-understanding what is heart failure from the dramatic recovery of so many of our cardiac patients, embracing our mindfulness methods. As a cardiologist, when I practice, I'm able to work on acute myocardial infarction and acute decompensated heart failure and hopefully improve the lifespan of my heart patients. That is all my 20 25 years of training and 20 years of practice allows me to do. But when I practice integrative, Siddha, higher consciousness, what happens is I'm able to practice holistic medicine, where along with improving lifespan, we can potentially improve health span. Health span is just how many years we have with good quality of life. It's not just how many years we manage to survive. Why do I bring in sports, dance, and kung fu and martial arts? Because Adimurai, Kalari, these things, Varma Kalai, these Tarkapu Kalaigal, we say in Tamil's tradition, have now gone to China as kung fu. And the reason our Siddha tradition has promoted these martial arts and Bharatanatyam and other things is because they take 10, 15, 20 years to become good at. So it has to be started in childhood. And when somebody gets absorbed so deeply into these body-mind techniques, then their chances of staying connected and passionate throughout life is so much higher than current generation, which is spending more time on the social media. At that time, they didn't have that, but they had the blessing of these mind-body methods. What about mindfulness, Zen concepts? Yes, they can reach higher consciousness. Yoga, if it is practiced the right way, it is in the Western world at least, it is only taught as an exercise. But when we practice self-inquiry in the acute and chronic cardiac settings, we are able to check off all these boxes, including helping acute heart patients, which we are writing a NIH grant for. Hopefully, they will allow us to study this in acute patients in the hospital. But we are also able to benefit the lifespan, health span, engage the creativity of people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, even into their 80s, and then work towards higher consciousness. I can talk about all these things for hours together, but I just wanted you to get a flavor for the work we are doing. So this is the core of what we teach in the Siddha Higher Consciousness course. We call it heart consciousness. Instead of focusing on intense concentration and sustained effort and doing more, we focus on natural attentiveness. We believe we are all extremely capable and we are focusing on things that we are genuinely interested in. So this effortless attachment to what we are passionate about allows us to stay in the being state rather than having to force ourselves to do anything. And that is the path not only to happiness, but to much more creativity. What looks for chronic disease patients, especially heart patients, with more procedures, more pills, like a impossible task. It doesn't look like we can push the stone anywhere, correct? But when we open our mind, when we deepen our consciousness, all these stones become easy and achievable targets if we go after them. So it is not in our physical strength, but it is in our opening of our consciousness that infinite possibilities open up for us. So we take these concepts. Everybody you see here is a principal of a middle school or high school in our public school district in Columbia, Missouri. So we want our principals to take it to their teachers and their students, thereby to all their families. We go to the American College of Cardiology, which is the biggest cardiology society. And we do this to help doctors cope with burnout and build the needed resilience for, first of all, doctors to be able to take the challenge of life well and then take it to their patients subsequently. We do it for state medical associations. Recently, we did an entire workshop for Missouri Medical. And then we teach this Siddha consciousness to students. And some of my students might have joined today and they may want to say hello to us as soon as we finish. If they are here, I welcome them to say hello. And so this is what we talk about. And in September, we have 4 sessions on biological aging. So we touch upon these things and we want to show that the clock is not only one way. It's our date of birth is not what is determined in our birth certificate. Depending on how we connect with our life, there is a chance we can stop and maybe even reverse this clock. So this conference that we conduct for the last several years connects two important things that the world is now waking up to: obesity and chronic disease. So this is the 8-week course that we've been doing now for last 7 years. And because of the pandemic, all of this material, we are making it available for free for anyone to view. And this is the most recent English series. After this, we did one in Tamil also. And for half an hour, we talk about different topics, 15 minutes, question answers. Last 15 minutes, we practice some mindfulness methods. And over 8 weeks, cardiac patients learn 20, 30 different tools that they can continue to explore their external world and their internal nature through. So Seeking Hunger is our book, which is available on Amazon. It's a very quick read, only about a couple of hours worth of it. It doesn't tell you what to eat, how many calories, but it shows how you can use food as a way to turn your attention inwards. The next book is Via Gratitude. It's halfway written. So hunger, gratitude, experience is what I believe has now become the core of our Heartful Living sessions. So this is my friend, I should say my student, the student I'm most proud of, Marilyn Lake. She said she'll try to join us today. If she is here, I welcome her to come and share some thoughts. Hi, Marilyn.
Marilyn, you must unmute. You must unmute.
She's here.
Anand, she is not unmuting.
Marilyn, can you unmute yourself? We are not able to hear you.
Marilyn is mute. Unmute.
Can you unmute for her, Dr. Shan?
Yeah, I can only ask her to unmute. I've asked her to unmute.
Oh, okay.
So it's her choice. What is that?
No, she wants to talk. It's just that maybe she'll come a little later. Okay. Is Preeti around? If she wants to say hello to us?
Preeti Sundaram.
Hi Anand, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. If you want to come on video, you might.
Marilyn is here. She's trying to talk.
Yes, now you can talk, Marilyn.
Hi, I'm here. I've tried so hard to, but my computer wouldn't let me.
I haven't introduced you yet, so you'll have to introduce yourself.
Oh, okay. I'm Marilyn Hope Lake. I was a student at Osher. I'm 80 and a half. And Dr. Chockaligam's course has made such a difference in my life. I was on a diet program when I first took the course. I was about to give it up. And then he taught me about how useful hunger is in losing weight and smiling lots. And it's been inspirational for me. And I was so glad to come to this course today and see you again. I wish I could see you every week. I'll be seeing you at Osher in the fall, but because I'm going to take the course again, just, to reinforce myself. But I've lost 40 pounds now, and I'm feeling so much better. I think you told me that walk I made to our seminar was about half a mile, didn't you, at the hospital from the garage to the auditorium? So I went from being able to walk about 300 feet to half a mile. So it's wonderful.
How many years younger do you feel now in the last few months, Marilyn?
Oh, at least 20, 25.
So she doesn't like it when I say she's 80. She says she's 80.5. but she's feeling like a 60-year-old. And this is only the beginning of your journey, Marilyn. You
Well,
started only in April. It's only August now.
I hope so. I hope that I'm
You are an
very
inspiration for all of us.
I'm very confident now that I'm going to live longer. So I have to keep my money so that I'll have enough to live on. But I do have good kids who'll take care of me.
Amazing.
And you're there. I will have you as my friend and mentor, teacher, and doctor now. So
I'm so glad you could join us today and inspire all our friends all over the world today, Marilyn.
I didn't realize that. I really didn't realize you were going to call on me. But hello, everyone. Oh, hi. I know there's your father.
Yes, he wanted to say hello to you too.
Yes, he's here.
One more person we wanted to talk for a couple of minutes is Preeti, and then we'll open it up for a discussion. Preeti, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us.
Yeah, I started following the intermittent fasting a couple of years ago when I first watched your presentation, and it helped me start my weight loss process. I had gained quite a lot of weight over the last few years, and so that got me started. And then it was not enough though, so then I started watching my diet and exercising every day. And what I found was that I had to watch my calories. So I went on a very drastic calorie count diet. I went on a 500 calorie diet for 6 months. And I started working out every day, at least for 1 hour, at least 6 days a week. So 1 hour, 6 days a week, and 500 calories every day for 6 months. And then I lost 50 pounds. So I still haven't reached my target yet. I have another few more to lose, but I feel very confident that the process I followed was pretty good. And actually, the intermittent fasting got me started. So I'm glad I followed the fasting and some of the information that you had put through your seminars. So that helped me get started through this process. So
We are so proud of you, Preeti. Thanks so much for joining us and inspiring our friends.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Compared to before, you told me the other day, what percentage are you eating and feeling comfortable and energetic? How much food do you need now?
I'm getting away with around 20% of what I used to eat a couple of years back. So I don't think need more than that.
The thing that I come away from talking to Preeti is not only that she's eating lesser, but she is very comfortable, in fact, more energetic despite the lesser food. So the world, including myself, for 45 years of my life, I thought the food is giving me energy, which is true. But sometimes when we cut back, we actually find more energy. So to find that right balance, we all need to do some self-inquiry. And Marilyn and Preeti and myself, we are all doing this in our own way, in our own different experiences. But when we find that heart patients are getting younger and better, then we want to take this message the right way so that more people can benefit from it and experience the health, not only physically, but also emotionally and psychologically, how we can continue to keep growing. Did you want to say something, Marilyn?
Yes, I wanted to say that the hunger issue that you teach, I was first skeptical about, but that has really been a core reason why I'm losing weight, because I had always tried to go 12 hours between evening and morning. But now when I get hungry, I wait as long as I can till I'm really, really hungry before I eat. And I am eating less because I stop when I'm satisfied, not just when I want more. And that has been a major contributor to my weight loss.
When we are growing as teenagers, it is easy to cut back a little bit and lose any excess weight. Above the age of 20, it becomes hard. By 40, it becomes very hard to lose weight. Marilyn is 80, so imagine how hard it must be to lose even a single pound. But she is smiling every part of the journey, and that is what is so amazing and inspiring. Thanks so much, Preeti and Marilyn. We'll open it up for discussion. So, Dad, why don't you say hello to our friends?
Hello, and good evening to everyone. Nice to see all my friends. About 2 weeks back, I was in States with Anand and Shan, and I'm very thankful to Dr. Shan and Dr. Pramila for making this program possible. And I am Dr. Chockalingam, Anand Chockalingam's father. And actually, I have completed 55 years in cardiology. Anand was my son, student, professor, colleague, like that. I've been listening his talk for many occasions. Whenever I listen, Anand, it looks to me as I'm listening for the first time, because you're adding a lot of information every time. I've been giving talks in thousands of meetings, but what you are effectively trying to do along with Shan and Pramila is make it white and black in print. It has got enormous value. And that is what you have been doing, is the greatest service. What you are communicating, it must reach everyone globally. Earlier it reaches the global citizens, become healthier. Thereby, the most important thing about the 2 minutes I want to comment, Shan, I really appreciate your commitment. And all the friends now in our platform. This obesity, what everything I feel now, what I want to say is poverty in plenty. You got everything, but you are suffering and you are painful and leading a life as is really worthy or not. Please never add weight in your body, weight in your mind. You are going to add both the things. Our body cannot withstand it. As Anand was telling, if you are going to add more weight or obese, please, the visceral obesity, when that fat accumulation in the viscera, especially in the abdomen, it behaves as a very, very dreadful endocrine organ. All inflammations, all cancers, all coronary disease, it becomes an organ to produce negative hormones, and I call that visceral obesity is the endocrine organ itself. So once you reduce the weight, you are removing that obesity as endocrine organ responsible for all diseases you are developing. So this obesity really mainly starts from your emotional imbalance. So person is depressed, worried, anxious, you are tempted to take more fatty food, and any food other than water, if you don't utilize that, it will convert by the liver into fat and will get accumulated in every portion of the body, with the hope that we can utilize it for necessity when you are in starving or when you don't have food. So it's been going on accumulating. If you don't use it, it becomes meaningless. So most important, as Anand has been telling, our ancestors have been telling, you must keep a mindset positive. Unless you convince them that is the benefit of that, which has been saying that once you go in your mind that it is a way of living, as has been telling, chronological age, even a single second, we cannot do anything with that. But biological age, you can reverse it and feel it much younger, even the age of Merlin. I met her at an excellent talk with Merlin few weeks ago. She's really a very important. Suppose myself, Shan, or Anand is telling, or Pramila is telling, it may not be valuable to the world. What Merlin says, every word counts, Merlin. So you are adding value to the society of everyone. So most important thing is, you must take only what you need. Generally, you are taking 30%, 40% more than you need it, then it accumulates, then it becomes a disease. All the diseases, liver and heart problem, arthritis, gastric, CVA, asthma, cancer. So in doing this type of one, I've been telling Anand, not only making you feel younger, you are coming out from all the medicines, and it has been proven along with Anand, published also. If you're going to have 90% block in the blood vessel today, within 1 year, the 90% becomes even 10% or 20% reversion of atherosclerosis. That is the most effective thing, which I told Anand, which you already published, most focusing, which has been doing in academic platforms. And second most important, I want to share, please, if your parents are genetically having diabetes, hypertension, it has been transmitted. And you are given already to your children, grandchildren by this time. But what Anand is telling, or Shan is telling, Pramila is saying, if you are going to follow for 9 years from today, please remember that, underline that, reinforcing the genetic mutation to positivity occurs. That is because the genes that are carrying epigenes phenotypes, it weathered off the carrying genes. After 9 years, the genes won't be there. So positive mutation because of lifestyle, the obesity. So most important, everything, not only reversion. No, you have to, must not blame Pramila. My father is given diabetes, I am suffering, I am having a heart attack. Is only not acceptable point hereafter. Once you decide what you got from gene, the gene changes by 9 years. Obstruction changes by 1 year or 15 months. So still, nature is giving the way to live very healthy way. Most important, as has been telling very clearly, how you must reverse it. So most important for that, what I personally feel, is self-realization. You are now living. All the persons in the platform, my children, my friends are all alive only. So when you are alive, you be grateful to the nature or to the God. So existence you must enjoy. And for the self-realization, then only you will have peace of mind. Unless you have peace of mind, you cannot be happy or you cannot be smiling. Merlin has been now smiling all the time. I really see that. Because she realized what she is, reduced weight as per the instruction of honor, self-realization, peace of mind, it will leave only happiness. Once you are happy, you will radiate happiness. Unhappy people make you unhappy. Don't go be with them. Try to make the unhappy people happy, but don't become unhappy in seeing them unhappy people. Shan, I know that your commitment of holistic doctor, I am seeing the platform people, all are doctors now, because you must take this point what Anand, Shan and Pramila is telling to the global society, especially these things should be followed in teenagers. Teenage means 13 to 19. The teenage, if you're going to focus, they are trying to catch up. Don't stress them straight away, these all the points. Tell them the positive points of that, keeping yourself at a blissful state, weight, and other things. And at that time, when they learn it, anything Anand is telling, please follow for 21 days, it will become a habit. After that, even if you don't want to live, you cannot live. Just trying for 5 days, 6 days, then intermittent like that must become part of your life, I personally feel. So I usually end up in saying, please avoid hurry, worry, curry to get buried. See how Pramila Chan is sleeping. Even she is clapping. That only human beings are given the gift of that. So please remember 3 mantras in your life. That's what Anand and everyone is feeling different. What Chockalingam is saying, 3 mantras are: be positive in thinking, be healthy in eating, be adequate in exercising. It is not doing for the society, it's not doing for the spouses. It is for yourself. Then you can be useful to our family, to the society at large. I really appreciate Anand. It's an enormous effort you are putting it, and you are adding scientific value. You got excellent people now with you. Go ahead and continue your journey for the benefit of the society at large. Thank you very much. Anand, Shan, Pramila, Marilyn, I'm so happy. After seeing you, we are all becoming younger and younger, Marilyn. Thank you. All the best, Anand, Shan, Pramila.
Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful,
Thank you, Doctor.
Doctor. So you have a amazing gene there, continuing the legacy. So it's really amazing, because it's very difficult to get the same gene, even though, we may have a lot of ancient knowledge. Today, people are going towards completely materialistic world. So shifting from materialistic to esoteric awareness is like a real great gift for the gene, I think this is wonderful. And the thing that this has been published is something great, and you have applied for funding, which is very, very important for proving. This is also for establishing our ancient traditional knowledge. It's a very global knowledge. It is not from just one tradition, but even though we have our roots back, this knowledge is already there in all different traditions. They want to heal holistic approaches. So now the important thing is to co-realize and collaboratively work. That's one of the things that we are doing, because as individuals we cannot heal the whole planet, and we need a lot of people together. And what we are actually practicing is a integrated approach, not only from an individual doing integration, but system integrations, like the different traditional knowledge from different perspectives also. That's why we call it transdisciplinary science and technology, because the holistic approaches perspectives also change from different cultures. So how the Western people look at this, the same art, we have a Siddha way of looking at it from a very, from a femto neurobiology perspective, which is Burma perspective, Burma anatomy. Burma anatomy we look at very, very differently. So in this case, we need maybe some other traditions look at very differently, the same. So fusing all these things, traditional perspective is what we are, Siddha Veda is aiming to. One of the key aspect of bringing this traditional knowledge into a university. So we are developing this university. We call it a multiversity. And the mother university will be in India. So we'll have different branches across the world, exclusively for bringing this integrated knowledge, where we need the modern, but same time we have to. There is so much knowledge available in our own tradition that is not been recognized. Okay, so there are in our conference, we had a recent conference that 2,000 people attended, and in India, completely what the food that we gave was completely our traditional food. No modern modern food was given. It's all, so many items were there that people couldn't believe that these all are from our own tradition, because in world doesn't know that India is like amazingly diverse in terms of the food and other nutrition things. Can't believe that we have 1,20,000 type of vegetables, right? So think about rice. We have 1,200 types of rices, traditional rices. I'm not talking about the genetically engineered. We have around 6,000 rices right now, varieties. So that 1,200, around 120 rices, a person is really making it. They displaced. They're growing 120 types of traditional rices right now, and we don't know. We may be eating white rice made in some, in the Western countries, because the Western country arsenic content, especially in US, is found that arsenic content is huge when you consume rice because of the kind of things that the arms and ammunitions they have. So here, this is a great opportunity. So to bringing our traditional knowledge, it's a wonderful thing for the whole world. Bringing completely understanding this tradition, going deep into for food technology is nothing like the Eastern way of doing it. We need to. So we need a framework in the Western framework. We need a Western framework, and invest is good for all these frameworks. The way we present this, way the teaching techniques are available. All this, because the world we need to bridge the gap between the different tradition, not only East and West. We have to include all Middle East traditions, African traditions. Some people don't know we East or West. So we need to. This is high time. So we wanted to have a second conference, which Dr. Pramila will talk about, where all of you can come and participate in the Middle East. So Dr. Pramila, you wanted to share? You have any quickly, sir?
Greetings to everyone. Dr. Anand, that was a very inspiring and informative talk. Appreciate all your hard work, and definitely all your knowledge should be integrated with our Siddha Veda services, and we need to reach out across the globe. And also Dr. V. Chockalingam adding flavor to today's session with his expertise in holistic approach. Thank you, Dr. Chockalingam, for being with us and guiding us in all our initiatives towards community empowerment. And Dr. Shan, as he said, we are in the process of creating a multiversity where we integrate transdisciplinary approaches. With regard to that, the Siddha Veda Vaikunta in UAE, we are the consultants to Access Abilities Expo. It's a Civil Aviation Authority's initiative to empower people of determination. That's how we address people with disabilities in UAE. And this is an expo which caters to trade, commerce, tourism, healthcare, and all transdisciplinary practices across the globe. The inner circle would comprise of the government official, all the 12 major sectors, because any community initiative we do, if the government participates, then we could take it to the next level. So the government participate, and this year Siddha Veda is going to take a space of 200 square meter where everyone can participate along with us. Like our recent conference in Coimbatore, we had a very good presentation, and we had, as Doctor said, the food intervention, everything. So with the expertise of more professionals like Dr. Anand and Dr. V. Chockalingam, we can add more and more flavor to and value to what we give to the communities. And I welcome everyone. The conference is scheduled in November from 15th to 17th. I would like everyone to be a part of it, and all the information will be shared to you in your different groups. And also I'll share the details with Dr. Anand and Dr. V. Chockalingam, as well as Dr. Priya Chockalingam. The family definitely, we want your family to integrate with our Siddha family. And Valal Peruman has also, the sage scientist of 19th century, he has spoken about Tanithiru, Vidithiru, Pasithiru. So that also follows our modern technology of intermittent fasting and so on. So let's all celebrate ourselves in Dubai conference. Thank you.
Yeah. I have
Amazing
added
work
a
you're
link
doing.
for
So
everyone.
nice. I could connect with the work of Dr. Shan and Dr. Pramila. Thank you. Thank you. I think there is someone who wants to ask a question to somebody.
Yes.
Right. Quickly, I have just added a link where you can join a WhatsApp group. So if people are missing in this group who do not have access to what we're going to inform you, you can just add to the WhatsApp group. We will later add you on to the newsletter later. So for right now, you can add yourself to WhatsApp group. And every Wednesday, we're going to have a webinar. It's going to be the same number to join, the link. Okay, so we are not going to change the link. So you may join using the same link. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know. So right now you can join WhatsApp, group. So later on, if you wanted to be added, we will add it in newsletter if you don't have access to WhatsApp. Yeah. So go ahead. Who is the next person who has questions? You may kindly.
Gupta, you need to unmute.
Raji, you can. Yeah, they can unmute themselves.
Kindly unmute.
Yeah. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, it's nice to see somebody from Dubai because I grew up in Kuwait, so
Okay.
next door. So my question, I guess, is this is kind of nice because we have the Middle Eastern perspective here and we have the Indian American perspective here. So my question is that, being born in India, having grown up in Kuwait, and having lived in the US for like 20 plus years now, based on the American system, my BMI, the doctor says, well, based on this BMI, you should be 100 pounds less. And to me, I agree that, I should be less, but that sounds a little way too much, because, it's just not real because as you know, our eating habits, like even though I've been here a very long time, I feel my body still needs the Indian food because of the, the nutrition, like the urad dal and the tur dal, or like the 10 leaves or whatever, right? The pindis, so cook the Indian way. And then also I like to eat the Middle Eastern food, which is kind of a little bit rich, like the hummus and the, the kebabs or whatever, right? Because I'm a non-veg. So, but then I also eat the American food. So what I feel is that these American doctors and the white Americans, if you will, they don't understand. They put everybody in one, what do you call it, in one mold, if you will. And so this BMI story, I just want to hear from both of you that what is, because I was trying to find out through a friend of mine who's a doctor in Kuwait, the same question, that how would, how does this BMI thing fit in for people like us who are from different parts of the world? And of course, everybody, I agree, everybody has to be, weight conscious because it's not good for your health. But at the same time, what is very important that I was brought up with is that my parents always say is that you don't want to go too crazy, like you need to balance it and you need to take care of your nutritional and your individual needs as well. So if somebody tells you that you need to lose 100 pounds, that's nuts. Don't listen to them,
Very real world challenge that you bring, and it sort of positions or I'm hearing some feedback. Maybe you can all mute yourself for a couple of minutes. What I'm sensing is there is, for the last 15, 20 years that I've been practicing, I looked at weight as a challenge that we need to overcome to help heart patients. Only in the last 2-3 years, we are looking at weight differently. We are looking at it as an opportunity towards health. So Marilyn is an amazing example. It's going to take me another several months to write up her story as a medical literature, because now we have gathered close to 15 patients like her with heart. She hasn't told you the details about what her heart issues are and other things. So if you go a little deeper, they recognize there is an entity called a diastolic heart failure or a stiff heart. And these things develop at the age of 95 for most people. 100 years, there is definitely some stiffness. But if it happens by 70, it is usually because of hypertension that has been there for several decades. Unfortunately, now we are seeing this in 30 to 60-year-old people who are in their prime, who are working, suddenly not able to breathe for the last couple of months or sometimes few years. They are on water pills, and that is because of same diastolic heart failure, which is due to obesity. It is not due to hypertension or old age. That is what we thought is diastolic heart failure. So as a cardiologist, that's my 2 cents. But if you ask globally, what is healthy weight? For the world, most of the literature, unfortunately, that we have is not regional. In India, is not one genetic group. In India, there are so many genetic cohorts. But the Western world, where the data comes from, above the BMI of 30, we call it obesity. But the risk goes up from any number 26 onwards for BMI. When we come to India, most likely that number may not be even 25, it may be 23. For myself, at the age of 38, 10 years ago, my BMI was 25. I was healthy, I was eating right, and I was already getting pre-diabetic because I love rice. I come from Chennai. And in the last several years, I've cut back on my rice intake. I've learned how to stay hungry, especially now when Marilyn, I have to meet her next month in clinic. If I put on any weight, she will laugh at me because I've asked her to not to eat. Like that, I've been doing this for 7 years. So now since 2018, I've been hungry continuously, you can say, for the last 4 years. And I'm eating about 50%, 60% of my prior intake. And now my BMI is 22. So what I'm trying to say is, for Indians, BMI of 22 may be the safest number. Now I'm not pre-diabetic anymore. My sugars are in the 70s. So that is what it takes. If we are bodybuilding, then a higher BMI is fine. I have a friend whose BMI is 35. He is not severely obese. He's extremely fit. His body fat percentage is less than 8%. He's that much of an athlete. So that is the thing I wanted to share. So individually, how it happens, we'll have to monitor and see how it goes. But my suggestion would be to talk to your doctor and see what can be achieved. It's not like setting a goal of losing 100 pounds. No, I would suggest that you learn these simple things that might change your mindset at a deeper level. And then slowly, the weight loss ideally should happen on its own. And throughout life, we can be in that journey without stress or strain, especially if we don't yet have chronic disease, then this is the best time to start that journey. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I think in terms of the hunger, I would say that I think that, a person gets used to what you get yourself used to. So if I say to myself that, 1 cup of, instead of, 1 cup of rice is enough as versus 2 cups of rice, then that's sufficient. You train yourself and then your body behaves accordingly. So I think that's the way to go in terms of, losing weight or controlling your food, because the reason I got tuned into this is because of the COVID, because, the lifestyle has changed. For a little while, we were not going out. Everybody was stuck indoors. And so, you didn't have movement, you didn't have exercise, you didn't have the outdoor fresh air, So because of that, people have put on pounds. And so, and then that exposes you to a higher risk of COVID as well, from what I'm reading. So that's how I got focused in on losing weight. And I think so that's why also, because when you're indoors, you land up eating more, either because you're bored or because you don't have anything else to do. So it is what you train yourself. So if you set a goal that this is the healthy limit and you don't want to eat too much, you yourself can guess it, because you'll start getting uncomfortable. It'll be like, this is too much food, I can't handle it. And that's how I started, is to monitor. And I'm happy to say that I have lost 25 pounds in the last 6 to 8 months. So
Very good.
So, all right,
Excellent.
thank you.
Yeah, so you're on the right path. It's just something that we make it effortless so that it sustains throughout a lifetime. If you look at the evidence from the studies that have been done, whatever we lose within 3 months, 6 months, by 1 year or 2 years, all that weight comes back. That is what is the challenge with lifestyle. But the way we practice and what we have seen is, after 10 years also, the weight is not coming back for most of my patients. The reason is they are not learning a diet. They are learning a way of intuitively connecting with themselves. So that is where the real magic is. And for Marilyn, I can guarantee she can guarantee that for the next 5 years, there's not going to be any weight gain. It's only going to be more pleasurable, enjoying life. In that process, the weight may continue to go down some more. That's all she is doing. Right, Marilyn?
Somebody has their hand up, but I did want to say that I have had shortness of breath for at least 8 years, and I saw specialist after specialist after specialist, and I was pretty sure it was my heart, because you think shortness of breath, you have heart problems, but they said no. Then they finally discovered from an echocardiogram that I have diastolic heart failure. But the doctor said I wasn't to worry about it, that it was mild, and just, let it go. And I asked Dr. Chockalingam about this, and he said it's because nobody thought you could reverse that, so they didn't do anything to try to reverse it. And none of these doctors told me if I lost weight, my heart might get better. And I do still have some issues with the shortness of breath, but so much less. I mean, it's like gone 90% of the time. I was short of breath if I got up and walked across the room. And nobody said lose weight. And certainly no one like Dr. Chockalingam said, well, you've got this heart failure, which really scared me when the doctors told me this, but it can be reversed. And well, that gives you a whole new lease on life. At 81, well, it'll be 80 and a half now. And that's what he wants to do for the world, is to teach them how to live so they won't get these awful diseases.
See, the thing is, Marilyn, I've been saying that my methods of lifestyle, diet, self-inquiry, everything works till 65, when the human body is resilient. Above the age of 70, there's not much study, so I said I don't know too much. But today, Marilyn comes to us and says, no, Anand, you are wrong. Even at 80, I can change. So what Marilyn is saying is an eye-opener for me. So next time when I write my paper, I will not use any number of 45, 55 for obesity, HFpEF. Even at 80, if there is obesity, HFpEF may continue. HFpEF means this diastolic heart failure that may continue to respond. So this I am learning from Marilyn's real life experience. So I cannot thank you enough, Marilyn, for being brave enough to try our simple methods and tell us that it works for you. There are a couple more quick questions I'm seeing in the chat I wanted to answer.
Anand, before that,
1 minute, I'll just answer the questions, then you show the slides. Doesn't practice intermittent fasting over years cause weight loss in bones and reduce bone density? So this is a challenge many people are worried about, including cardiologists. And the challenge is, when there is weight loss, it is not only in adipose tissue or fat, it is also in muscles and also in bones. We see that. But that is not abnormal. See, body has its intuitive intelligence. So there is, if 70, say if 20 kilos of fat is lost, there will be about 4 kilos of muscle that is lost and some bone mass that is lost. So these numbers we don't have to worry too much about. So if the overall intention and movement is good and we are able to continue to do our activities the way we want, then don't have to worry about muscle mass loss. But the best way to measure that is with the DEXA scan. And now we have in-body and other things in the gym where you can measure your body fat percentage, and you can go with that, where lean muscle mass is also being reported. So you will see that the lean muscle also comes down a tad bit, but you can augment that just with a little bit of weight training 1 or 2 times a week. But even without that, just losing weight, don't have to worry about what is being lost. Very likely the body is intuitively losing what is meant to be lost first, which is the fat tissue. The last question is so is it only for heart cardiology patients or for others? The answer is, I am a cardiologist, I work with heart patients, but when we practice this, we are seeing people with mental health issues, depression, anxiety, as well as arthritis, and other chronic issues like cholesterol, diabetes. They are also getting so much better. So for that, we don't have any systematic results that are published yet. I focus so far only on heart failure, but you can look at this as a progression. By 40, people develop hypertension, 50 diabetes, 60 some heart attack, and 70 is heart failure. So by a 75-year-old, if they are getting better, that means they are reversing all these things that have been going on for 30, 40 years in their life. We let my dad present something, and
Anand,
there are some more questions.
One second. Anand, Samsung is asking one question. Answer his question, and
how can we gain weight? My dad is 70 years old, recently had heart failure due to hypertension, and he eat healthy, is 47 kg, ended up bypassing. Need your inputs. So you're asking if the heart is contributing to people unintentionally losing weight. That's a very different ball game. See, we talk about fasting, which is very different from starving. Now we are talking about intentional weight loss for the last 1 hour. The question here is about unintentional weight loss or needing to gain more weight and strength. So that is a very different discussion. But the answer is sometimes the heart may be so weak that a person is not able to add on needed weight. So that is called cardiac cachexia. Sometimes that happens, but from what you are describing here, if your dad was stable enough to go through bypass, good chance his heart squeeze is still not bad. Ejection fraction may be a little reduced. And eating healthy food is a very good thing, but equally important for him maybe to try a little bit of weight training. Talk to your cardiologist, and if they feel it is safe, 1 or 2 times a week, if they can do light weights, more reps, weight training, resistance training has a very high probability of building the needed muscle strength and healthy weight. Any other questions?
Dr. Anand, there is one more question from my beloved husband, Chandrasekhar.
How are you, sir? Nice to meet you. Now I see you. Yes, sir. I don't see the question. If you can just ask me the question, we can just talk about it.
The question?
You have to unmute yourself, sir.
I am listening. So
no, you want to
knowledge for me.
Hand, that's why we thought.
You want to comment anything, Chandrasekhar? You
Nalla
want
irukku,
to
sir.
ask Anand any question?
Yeah, I am just listening. It's a knowledge for me. So with the struggle, I could get into this Zoom today. And thank you very much, doctor. And I am already consulting your father. So
excellent. I'm glad you're doing well, sir.
And Pramila gave me this link, and then I am joining to listen you, and the various aspects which when you are discussing, I'm able to understand and catch up this. Yeah, it's a great incentive, and it's really helpful. And such experienced and highly professional doctors, when you come out in Zoom like this, it helps a lot. It helps a lot. People, so it goes to the people.
I do the best I
fast.
can. I know my dad, he is now 75. He has given his cell phone number 24/7 to anybody, anytime he asks me to call. So I'm trying to go in his path to try and help our society. When we do more procedures, we are helping acutely. But in the long term, if we want to give people that confidence to move through life happily and optimistically, I think these simple holistic things that if we embrace, we'll be in a much better shape. This discussion I had with my dad several times about this diastolic heart failure. In India, it's not that prevalent. What I think is, it is because our people are not able to gain that much extra weight to develop that type of heart failure. Before that, they get into other complications, and life expectancy is lesser in India. So this problem is becoming a huge deal. India spends $20 billion currently for obesity-related problems. Only in the next 30-40 years, from 20, it is going to go to $480 billion. That is the projection to tackle obesity alone. It's an enormous challenge. So like Dr. Shan was saying, we need to work together. I'm going in December to the Cardiology Society meeting, which is happening in Chennai, the annual meet. And I'm going to present the same data, how the link between heart and the excess weight is a big challenge in the US, but it may be actually a bigger challenge even at lesser weight and younger age for India. That is what we are finding.
Yeah.
You wanted to share some slides about?
As 1 second, Pramila.
Yes, doctor.
We are all, Shan is there. We are all living as one family. You are living in oneness.
We are blessed. We are blessed to be.
Luckily, the world has become a village now. Anything you can communicate instantaneously. When Pramila introduced her husband, she said, beloved husband. See that relationship will bring everyone closer, make everyone happier. So, most important thing, Anand, you have been stressing so nicely. Every time you are adding weight, when slides to your talk and then adding value to everyone. Just 1 second, I want to share this one. Yes. He has said first, Shan is there. Shan, I'm not able to.
Yes, he is there, doctor. He is there.
Okay, no problem. See, wait 1 minute. So what I want to say is, Anand stressed this time, positive psychology. All systems of our medicine, I never myself Anand seeing as a competitive, as a complementary to each other, make society healthy. That's what this one is. See this slide, just 1 second I'll share you, many would have seen. The person with a negative psychology, this is what we call worrying, tension, anxiety, everything, please remember, everyone has got this problem. But Anand said, make it that one is a positive psychology. No, I will be only in the psychology, please see here. With that one, the hormone secreted because of emotion, cortisol, adrenaline, we will be tempted to take, please remember, fatty foods. We will never like to take even vegetable good foods because of this emotional status. So the emotional status of Anand saying is a positive instead of the negative one is supposed to take fatty foods and then will add weight. Once the cycle goes, he does not want to do any exercise. If you tell them exercise, he will say, what nonsense, Chockalingam. Because he is in the cycle of sedentary life, he thinks smoking and alcohol gives him happiness by false notion. Please closely watch. This slide completes in continuity. The adrenaline, cortisol, noradrenaline secreted enormously, increases cholesterol, not only the food what he takes. The negative one, liver produces bad cholesterol. Please underline that. So always cholesterol comes, immediately sugar increases, and pressure increases. These three are not diseases. You are inviting in traveling a negative mindset and negative lifestyle, and because of this, all the things, the vessel in the heart blocks, gets in the heart attack, comes to Chockalingam, Anand Chockalingam, Priya Chockalingam. Please see here, your children are closely watching that. They think this is the best life cycle. So you must become a role model for your children and make it as a positive one. You will be 100% reversing everything and you can be healthy. So that's what I want to stress. And some other time we'll talk. So when one person was asking the obesity, what she has been stressed up, all started with honest testing. The negative one becomes positive psychology. It produces endorphin, melatonin. Then you like to take only vegetables. You'll activate it to do exercise and everything will get reversed. So even now nature gives you, why don't you reverse, why you want to end up? When Merlin was telling 8 years, we are going to celebrate Merlin's 100th birthday, no doubt about it. Then Anand must say, at any age, as long as you live, follow this blissful way of gratitude. I'm really honored. Thanks for giving the opportunity, Anand, for sharing this one. Just I thought it may be useful to everyone. So thanks a lot, and Anand, I really appreciate.
Excellent.
I would like to, based on Dr. Anand's talk on group clinic, we would like to announce that mid-September till mid-October, we would be hosting a course where Dr. Anand Chockalingam, Dr. V. Chockalingam, Dr. Shan, a group of transdisciplinary professionals would provide a course based on today's talk and much more. So we would announce that in Siddhaveda Vaikunta here, UAE platform, Siddhaveda USA, and Canada, as well as Australia, different parts of the world, we have our Siddhaveda programs ongoing. So I would like everyone to be a part of it and register for the event. Thank you. Dr. Shan, would you like to add?
One second, Pramila. Anand, 1 minute, Pramila. Anand and Priya Chockalingam, really they came in very correct time along with the Shan and Pramila. They can do wonders in the world.
We will involve Dr. Priya Chockalingam also, definitely.
And I will guide you whatever thing extent possible because of what I know. But this group, Shan, you are really very happy. I'm very happy Anand was there because he's the busiest cardiologist, is a teacher. He's keen like me in communicating. I really honored Anand what your commitment for the society. Please catch hold of Pramila and Shan so that you all do best thing for the global society. I really appreciate Shan. Your intentions are great.
Thank you, thank you.
Anand has been nurtured in a fertile soil. Definitely, he will bloom happily, and he will bloom in different spheres. Definitely, Doctor. We all are together, and we are blessed to be under your guidance, Doctor. Dr. Shan, would you like to add to our program?
Pramila, Priti has put her points very nicely. Really great. Everyone wants to say something. Please all contribute, and they are there. Yes, Shan. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. So we will have, the courses will be from different disciplines. We are going to offer the best kind of topics that are needed, relevant to, so we will talk about like each person or each presenter. We will have on a same topic, they will give different perspectives. Like that, we will choose a few topics, 10 weeks course, 10 weeks, 10 each like 40 minute sessions by each faculty. So that way, you will have a different perspective. you will have continuously, and also you will not be bored with one kind of person. It's always, we have a boredom thing happens if one person is giving. Usually I tell, I like to talk a lot, but people should be there, right? Even if I'm very interesting, after some time, people get bored with our own things. So we need different things. I mean, humanity is made for all of us. So that's the co-realization model. The co-realization model is very important because, see, why we have great sage scientists who came to India. Amazing sage scientists. They have found every answers. What we are talking today and all has been done several thousand years ago. We have all the answers. Right now we are only modifying that, this, etc. Right? We are modernizing, and we are trying to give this. But the realization, every person attained realization. Realization is different, where you get enlightenment, right? Enlightenment is like according to Sivavakir, it says about Andavasalayiram, Rasanavasayilam, Arirandu Nuru Kodi Anavasanayiram, Indavasal Yele Vasam, Yegabogamanade, Empiran Irukum Vasal, Yavarkana Valare is talk about. So here under the different gates are there, where people can go into different dimension of space. Your space is unique. Every person's space is unique here. And everybody has a different perspective. So those perspectives need to be appreciated and embraced and seen like that. You don't have to compare with one person's thing to another, because the space is unique. That is the quality of consciousness. So if that has been done, if we had fused, that's how the Vedas and Agamas has been done several thousand years, like how we are compiling everything together. Different people wrote together several thousand years. You think about it, they compiled in one. It's author, like how we do modern science, like physics. Many people, not one person is writing. There are Einstein, Newton, all the Western physics. How we write the Western books. Same thing has been done several thousand years ago. So how advanced the society was. So we're going to do the same way right now, bringing the same subject perspectives, different perspective put together, and that knowledge is available as it is. You take as it is, and whatever suits you, you take all the bits and pieces, and you make your own, pathway to consciousness. So that's what we are developing. So we call it the co-realization model. Transdisciplinary. Why transdisciplinary? Not only for one discipline. When we call transdisciplinary, it means very different, from different traditions, different perspectives, right? And in our sage scientists, there are so many dimensions of knowledge. Agriculture knowledge, they have like deep nutrition theory knowledge, they have vastu knowledge, astro, how the astrology, the planets are connected to plants, and vegetables. All this knowledge, when we put together, it is so different. Everybody knows only little. When I teach, I feel I know only very little. People say, when I am teaching alone, people say, wow, amazing knowledge. You have amazing knowledge, etc. But I feel like that time I feel, oh, okay, I'm proud. But when other people talk, I feel I'm nothing. So the completeness comes only when we have all the different experts put in together. So that is one of the main thing that Siddhaveda is doing. There is no one person here in Siddhaveda. There are different people who can create Siddhaveda across the world. And join us. And their perspectives. We are not putting in perspectives. We have a common set of rules, but they can do their own perspectives. So that's how we are developing this organization. So thank you so much. This was very eye-opening. So you were very blissful, very mindful talk. You have been very, Professor Anand is being very, really is talking mindfully. That's the whole thing, because we see that he's practicing. His eyes shows that he's definitely is practicing that. And so that's very important. and therefore you will be very an asset for all of us, to be part of us in the advisory board or higher dimension of thing, to guide us, because we need this knowledge. And modern there are people struggling in Siddha and other traditions, in Ayurveda. No, they have amazing knowledge. They are healing so many people, but they don't know how to publish. They don't know how to write a paper. So we need to help them, bridging the gap so that they get funded and they can continue their work. Because many people, they don't have jobs. They are very amazingly, they are healing and treating many people. Any chronic disease they are treating, they are able to treat everything. But they don't have funds, just because modern Western society has taken over everything, because they wanted a different kind of language. So we created certain journals for ourselves. We have, ancient science journal, Ayurvedic, Siddha, all these journals we have created right now. So people can publish, it's peer reviewed paper. So people, lot of downloads are happening. Right now we are looking at impact factor this year. So, so like that, your knowledge could be very useful for guiding people. You have to guide not only people, institutions need to be guided. Right now institutions have problems. They know everything is there, but they don't know how to, even professors don't know how to write papers, publish or anything. Even putting an abstract is very difficult for them. So you could be a very good resource for many of the countries, not only in India, across the world they have different traditions. So in that way, I think we will be an asset for us, take this forward. So thank you so
I'm
much.
so glad today to connect with such a motivated, genuinely concerned community. Thanks to Dr. Shan, Dr. Pramila for inviting me. One last thing is, only this week we've recorded for the first time for Ayush Indian government and the university in California. They requested yoga curriculum for several diseases. For the advanced course, they asked me to give the curriculum saying yoga in heart failure. I said, definitely we'll do it. It will be Siddha yoga, because there is, in heart failure, you cannot exercise anybody. The traditional yoga is contraindicated in heart patients. So, but the mind, we can exercise at any point. Like my father says, as long as you're alive, you can learn the higher consciousness. So that is what we gave the full curriculum, how higher consciousness, the Siddha yoga method can be used in heart failure. So this has become a curriculum now. And for Academy of Integrative and Holistic Medicine, AIHM has now become globally the biggest organization, integrating all the Tai Chi, Reiki, all the complementary and integrative systems in the US. So they've invited me this year to talk about the Siddha mind in mental disorders, for depression and anxiety specifically, how we can heal it. It's not just a lecture. Again, this is a course, how they can learn this and teach it to their own patients. Like that, we are developing curriculum. So we are seeing so much growth in this sphere. And the best part of it is at extremely low risk. There's really no risk. If we look at Marilyn, she's getting all the Western treatments. On top of it, she's trying these things on the side. So then she can do this without having to go head to head with any balloon or stent or any procedures that the Western medicine offers. So I feel that is where we have a lot of potential to become mainstream, but without any added risk. So that type of opportunity, I don't think anybody else would have. So it's a unique time and space that we've all come together, and working with you in the next few years, I think we can show the world the benefit of our ancient wisdom.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I really appreciate every one of you. Excellent start. This may look as that is the end of the talk, but really what appears to be the end is really a new beginning for everything. And Anand's positive psychology, please take it in a greater way. And Shan, for the last 2 days, after coming from America, I had the 7 meetings all the time traveling. And 2 days back, I coined any individual living from birth to death in their own space and time. The space, you are now making it global is the space, not is the space within you. And the time is the one what it is given. We cannot extend even a quantity of times identical for everything. How qualitatively you are going to use it for the society is what you all must put together. So the space, if you feel you can expand it like anything, but without losing what you are. You must be planning your identification of after identifying yourself without losing what you are, expand the space globally. I really appreciate and my best wishes for all much younger people like you. I am feeling younger along with Marilyn. Anand was telling I'm 75. I am now 79 going to be. He reduced to 4 ages, I don't know. I appreciate. Thank you very much. Keep smiling, be happy, make society happy and healthier.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
doctor.
much.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you. Thank you, doctor.